Hey everyone, welcome back to the Jedok Geom series where we explore the Admiral sword, a Korean Joseon Dynasty sword form. Now if you haven't seen our previous videos, check them out above. So today we'll be talking about the Hwikum Hyangjukse, the swinging the sword at the enemy posture. And it's a really odd form because it goes from a one-handed rising cut with a leg lift into a two-handed downwards cut. And it all seems needlessly complicated, but I think there's a really good reason for all of the moves. And so I split it into two main variants, which are the defensive variant and the offensive variant. And so the defensive variant comes mostly out of the spinning kyukjukse, so if you haven't seen that video, please check it out. And the offensive variant is just to add more power quite effectively. So to start with, let's talk about the form. So the Hwikum Hyangjukse starts from right long stance, and you do a rising cut to the left using the right hand only, and that's accompanied by a right foot leg lift. And then after that, you put the right foot down and you grab the sword with both hands and you deliver a powerful downwards cut. So let's talk about the defensive variant. So in the Turo, then it's often practiced with a spin first, and it's essentially the first 2/3 of the spinning kyukjukse. So you do your across and your kyukjukse, and then you look 180 to the back, and then before you do the 180 to the front, you look. And if you see somebody who's moved into range to attack you during the spin, then you've obviously got to stop your spinning kyukjukse. So what do you do then? Well, there you do the Hwikum Hyangjukse. So across, 180 to the back, and then Hwikum Hyangjukse. And this is actually really quite difficult because the footwork for it requires you to change the body weight from the front to the back right after the spin and then shift it back to the front. And so you got to practice it a lot with the bokken, but once when you get the hang of it, it's really useful because it allows you to interrupt your spinning kyukjukse. And I think it's a one-handed rising cut just because it's quicker, so you don't have to be burdened with a two-handed rising cut because it's not really there for power. You lift the right foot so that the foot is out of the way and can't be attacked, and you do the rising cut so that it's like a parry to cover your body. So it's a good defensive posture because you're essentially mostly covered apart from if they sneak past that sword. And so after your opponent has attacked and you've deflected it with your rising cut and your leg lift, then you can take that opportunity to counter with the downwards cut to attack them, because now they're in range because they've moved in to interrupt your spinning kyukjukse. Now this also works really well against pole arms because spinning kyukjukse is really useful to counter pole arms, but if they draw it back and try and attack again, then you can use the leg lift to get it out of the way and the upwards rising cut to parry the pole arm and then go for the downwards cut. So now let's talk about the offensive variant. So here the leg lift is used to add power, very much like the Hima rat stance or the starting posture, the Jedok Geom. But here you don't need to take that step forwards. And so with the right foot leg lift, then you shift the body weight backwards and you coil the upper body, so you've got a lot of potential energy generated there. And then as you step that front foot out, then you can release all that energy into a really powerful downwards cut to the left. And so if you think about your main power moves in the Jedok Geom form, you have Jedok Geom, you have the Jinjun Saljukse, and the Yongyak Iljase. And all three of these forms require you to move forward. The Jedok Geom requires you to move forward one step, the Jinjun Saljukse requires you to do a skipping step forward, and the Yongyak Iljase also requires you to do a skipping step forward. So if you don't want to move forward but you want to have quite a powerful attack, then the Hwikum Hyangjukse is really useful for that. And even if you don't do it with the rising cut, it's a really good way to do the leg lift, coil the upper body, and then release all that power in a really strong strike. So that's it for today. I hope you liked learning about the Hwikum Hyangjukse. It's really important to practice both variants, especially the defensive variant if you do the spinning kyukjukse, because there's no point in having the spinning kyukjukse and not know what to do if it gets interrupted, because then that's making you more vulnerable and it's not really an effective tool in your arsenal. And the offensive variant is really useful because you can have a power strike without moving forward. So as always, please practice this form using a bokken and stay safe. So if you haven't seen our document down below, please do check it out. In it you'll find the Jedok Geom form as it's practiced in Korea in a lot more detail than other English translations of Muye Double Tongji, as well as my own personal interpretation. Now it's completely free, and please do share it with your friends because I made this document so that the Jedok Geom form would be more accessible in the English speaking community. Now if you'd give this video a like and subscribe, I'd really appreciate that, and with that I'll see you next time.